Today we embark on a deep dive into the realm of Greek mythology, focusing on a subject that has ignited debates among scholars and enthusiasts alike, the title of the most powerful Titan. As we unravel the complex tapestry of ancient lore, we will examine the narratives, literature, and historical interpretations that shape our understanding of these primordial forces. Titans, far from being mere footnotes in myth, represent fundamental archetypes of power, chaos, and order, intricately woven into the fabric of ancient Greek thought. Our analysis will take an expert-level lens, scrutinizing primary sources that include Hesiod's Theogony and other classical works, while incorporating the latest scholarly research and statistical evaluations where possible. You'll find that each Titan, with their unique attributes and legendary exploits, contributes vital elements to a more sophisticated portrayal of divine hierarchy and cosmic balance. In this discussion, we will not only chronicle their mythological achievements and conflicts, but also engage with the technical aspects of their influence on subsequent cultural, literary, and even philosophical paradigms. This is not a superficial recounting, but rather an analytical narrative aimed at those who are well-versed in Greek mythology. Let's begin our journey into the dynamic and intricately detailed world of Titans, setting the stage for a rigorous examination of power and legacy that transcends the simplistic labels often found in popular retellings. This analysis not only challenges conventional wisdom, but also invites informed debate among experts. Prepare for a robust and enlightening exploration. Get ready to rethink everything. To appreciate the nuances of Titan power and mythology, it is essential to understand the broader context of Greek mythological cosmology. Greek mythology is structured around a complex system of deities, heroes, and primordial forces, each interlocking within an intricate hierarchy that spans from the chaotic void of chaos to the orderly reign of the Olympian gods. The Titans emerged in this early framework as the primordial beings born from Uranus, the sky, and Gaia, the earth. They not only predate the Olympians, but also establish many of the fundamental patterns of conflict and succession that define Greek myth. The early mythographers, including Hesiod and later poets, depicted the Titans as colossal, enduring forces who embodied raw elemental power. The enduring quality of their narrative is evidenced by the rich debate among scholars regarding their function as both literal and metaphorical symbols of the ancient world's turbulent forces. Their mythological acts, from the overthrow of Uranus to the subsequent clash with Zeus and his siblings, are laden with symbolic representations of cosmic order, generational transition, and the very nature of power itself. Moreover, a detailed examination of the Titans shows that their roles extend well beyond simple villain or antagonist figures. Their actions catalyzed events that gave rise to critical mythological epochs, such as the Titanomachy, the epic war that reshaped the divine hierarchy. The eventual supremacy of the Olympians, although celebrated as an embodiment of order, simultaneously casts shadows on the inherent and often unresolved power struggles between older and younger divine orders. As such, the Titans remain a subject of rigorous academic inquiry, offering vital insights into the ancient perception of cosmic evolution, governance, and inherent natural law. Furthermore, modern interpretations supported by archaeological findings and comparative literature studies have continued to revise our view of the Titans. Contemporary scholars employ quantitative analyses and computer model simulations of mythological narratives to better understand the shift of power from the ancient Titans to the Olympians. This multidisciplinary approach enriches our comprehension of both the tangible and allegorical aspects of Titan lore, marking a convergence of tradition and modern research. Deep insight. To understand the true scale of Titan power, one must examine the intricate hierarchy present among these ancient beings and the legendary battles that defined their era. The Titans were not a monolithic group. Instead, they were organized through complex familial ties and generational divisions. Some were born from primordial forces, while others emerged as progeny of earlier divine unions, each inheriting distinct attributes and domains of influence. This internal structure often dictated the roles they played both in the cosmic order and in their eventual conflict with the Olympians. Detailed analyses of classical texts reveal that familial dynamics among the Titans were fraught with rivalry, ambition, and calculated alliances. The famous union of Uranus and Gaia, for instance, not only produced the Titans but laid the foundation for later strife. The inherent tensions among siblings such as Cronus and his brothers reflected a broader pattern of succession struggles, a recurring theme in myth that can be understood through both allegory and numerical patterns in ancient rituals and records. Battles among the Titans themselves, as well as among the Titans and the nascent Olympians, were epic in scale and symbolic in nature. The Titanomachy stands as the most significant example, where detailed accounts suggest battle lines meticulously drawn, with allegiances formed on strategic, almost calculable terms. The war is often described in terms of force ratios, with estimates suggesting that the collective energy and might of the older generation had to be counterbalanced by a reorganization of power among the rising Olympians. Military historians note the use of tactics that resemble formations and hierarchical command structures that were not only mythologically significant, but reflect the ancient Greeks' understanding of warfare. Quantitative studies of myth indicate that the numerical significance of these battles was deliberate. Record-keeping in myth often encodes numbers and repetitions that hint at ritualistic elements. For instance, the recurrence of the number 12 in the later Olympian framework is seen as a response to the original Titan generation's organization, emphasizing structure and order. These rigorous details invite ongoing debates among classical scholars, who continue to analyze the semiotic layers of these mythic conflicts, blending literary criticism with statistical inference. This analysis of Titan hierarchy and battles reveals a deliberate construction of myth that fuses numerical symbolism with strategic insight. It challenges modern frameworks by offering precise data and methodical evidence that align myth with historical patterns and divine narrative structures. Truly, since antiquity, debates have alternated between a select group of Titans considered most powerful. In this analysis, we compare leading candidates, namely Cronus, Atlas, Hyperion, and Iapetus. Each candidate's mythological background, attributed powers, and documented achievements are analyzed with technical precision that combines literary and quantitative methods. We examine primary sources alongside archaeological findings to assess their influence on the mythological and cosmological order. Cronus, often portrayed as the leader of the Titans, is renowned for the violent overthrow of his father, Uranus. His brief reign was characterized by decisive surgical shifts in divine order. Statistical references in classical literature suggest that Cronus's actions initiated a radical reconstitution of cosmic energies, marking him as a central figure in both mythological succession and physical manifestations of power. His myth reflects both the temporal displacement and reordering of celestial bodies, aspects that modern studies have attempted to quantify by analyzing recurring motifs in ancient depictions. Atlas, by contrast, is often celebrated for his endurance and the literal physical burden of holding up the heavens. Though he might not exhibit the direct political overthrow seen with Cronus, Atlas's strength is measured by both his continuous survival and the responsibility he bears. Quantitative analysis of artistic depictions and mythic symbolism highlights that Atlas's power is represented as a steady, almost immutable force, an anchor that has intrigued scholars who apply mathematical models to gauge mythic endurance. Hyperion, associated with the sun and heavenly light, represents another dimension of Titan power driven by energetic phenomena. In classical texts, Hyperion is linked to the provision of illumination, a metaphor for enlightenment and order within the cosmos. Modern approaches, such as spectral analysis and literary criticism, have drawn parallels between his rulership over daylight and the quantifiable measurements of solar power. For researchers, Hyperion's domain serves as a bridge between myth and observable natural laws, providing an interesting case study in the aggregation of mythic energy and scientific fact. Iapetus, meanwhile, is often analyzed through his connection to mortality and the human condition. His mythological influence traverses the boundary between the divine and the mortal realms. By examining data points across various sources, scholars find that Iapetus's contributions carry distinct implications for the evolution of human civilization as reflected in myth. His association with mortality and limitation provides a counterbalance to the boundless power depicted in other Titans, offering an essential dynamic that has been explored in both statistical and literary models. Comparing these titans requires a synthesis of both qualitative narratives and quantitative data. Metrics including frequency of mention in classical sources, detailed analyses of recurring numerical symbols, and comprehensive comparisons of mythic narratives allow for a layered evaluation of their intrinsic power. Each candidate's story has been tested against a framework of analytical dimensions: political, physical, energetic, and existential, demonstrating that the question of supreme power is not resolvable through a single metric. It unfolds as a multidimensional problem that necessitates cross-referencing texts, icons, and scientific analogies. Overall, this comparative examination reveals that while Cronus symbolizes the decisive transformation of divine order, Atlas embodies enduring physical strength, Hyperion commands luminous energy, and Iapetus introduces vital existential limitations, none can be simplistically declared the most powerful. Instead, each titan contributes a unique facet of cosmic power that interlinks with broader cosmological phenomena. Their multifaceted attributes allow scholars to approach the analysis of titan power with both theoretical rigor and empirical precision, deepening our understanding of ancient mythic structures. Delving deeper into Cronus's myth, we find a figure whose narrative encapsulates the profound transformation of divine order. Cronus, the youngest of his titan peers, emerges from the primordial union of Uranus and Gaia, with a legacy built on rebellion and strategic usurpation. Ancient texts emphasize his decisive role in deposing his father, an act that rearranged the cosmic structure and signified the shift from a primal to a more orderly universe. Scholars note that Cronus's character is layered with both brutality and ingenuity. His methodical approach to power, with the notorious act of swallowing his offspring to thwart any threats to his rule, has been interpreted as a form of cosmic regulation. Detailed analysis of Hesiod's Theogony and other extant sources reveals that Cronus's actions were not merely acts of tyranny, but reflections of a calculated reordering process, in which the cyclical nature of time and succession played a central role. This act, as perplexing as it may appear, underscores the recurring theme of fate and preordination in myth. Cronus's reign, though relatively brief, set in motion a series of events that culminated in the Titanomachy, the epic war between the Titans and the emergent Olympians. Quantitative estimates drawn from textual analysis indicate that the period of his rule, as described metaphorically in ancient lore, represents a compact epoch of revolutionary change, a phase that can be numerically correlated to cycles observed in other ancient cultures. His rule is often associated with both the creation and the eventual disruption of the established cosmic order. Furthermore, the symbolism attached to Cronus extends into various dimensions of power. While his dominion involved acts of suppression and unilateral control, the philosophical underpinnings of his reign suggest that his actions were instrumental in defining the generational transfer of power. Modern critical studies have applied game theory principles to interpret his strategic maneuvers, positing that Cronus's decision-making can be understood as an exercise in risk management and optimal timing. Such interpretations present his mythic narrative as a study in strategic planning and far-sighted governance. Artistic representations of Cronus have evolved significantly over the centuries, from classical vase paintings that emphasize his formidable presence and decisive action, to elaborate Renaissance depictions that capture the tragic dimensions of his storyline. Cronus is portrayed with an almost fractal complexity. Statistical analyses of these artistic works have identified recurrent motifs, such as the sickle and the temporal cascade, which resonate with both the symbolic and literal dimensions of his power. His portrayal is thus a fusion of raw might and contemplative destiny, inviting viewers to re-examine the multifaceted nature of power itself. In summary, Cronus's detailed case study reveals a titan who transcends the role of a ruthless usurper. He emerges as a transformative force whose actions redefine the very fabric of divine order. His myth, dissected through both qualitative narratives and quantitative analyses, offers strategic insights into the dynamics of power consolidation and transfer. The interplay between fate and free will within his story invites ongoing reassessment from experts across mythology, literature, and strategic theory. Ultimately, Cronus's narrative is far more complex than a simple tale of tyranny. It is a sophisticated interplay of symbolism, strategic planning, and generational dynamics. Drawing together the extensive analysis presented, we have navigated the intricate landscapes of Titan mythology, with a focus on evaluating power through deep technical insights and quantitative examination. From the early cosmological frameworks to the detailed breakdown of mythic narratives, the discussion has illuminated how each Titan's role contributes to the multifaceted nature of divine hierarchy. In particular, the comparative evaluation of Cronus, Atlas, Hyperion, and Iapetus provides a robust paradigm for understanding not only raw power, but also the underlying strategic, symbolic, and existential dimensions of their influence. The legacy of the Titans is evident in the enduring impact they have had on later art, literature, and modern theoretical studies. Their narratives continue to spark debate and inspire analytical models that bridge the gap between myth and measurable phenomena. The scholarly discourse, enriched by numerical analysis and literary criticism, underscores that the myth of the Titans is not static, but rather an evolving framework that informs our current interpretations of history and cosmic order. Modern research has also revealed that ancient symbolism, when dissected with rigorous statistical tools, holds the potential to reshape our understanding of narrative dynamics and power transitions. Considering Cronus in detail, his myth stands out as a compelling case of transformative leadership and strategic innovation in divine succession. However, the conclusions drawn from this exploration do not claim a definitive answer to the debate on the most powerful Titan. Instead, they advocate for a perspective that embraces multiple intersecting dimensions of mythic power. By integrating direct textual evidence, artistic legacy, and modern analytical methods, this discussion reinforces the idea that power in Greek mythology is as much about underlying cosmic truths as it is about individual acts of dominance. In closing, the interplay between myth and modern analytics invites experts to further explore these narratives with both creativity and rigorous scientific inquiry. The legacy of the Titans, layered and complex, remains a vibrant subject for ongoing discourse and cultural reflection, ensuring that their influence permeates contemporary discussions in art, philosophy, and scholarly research.